Okay, let's try this again. Now I hope I'm right side up this time. Jeff, if you happen to be looking, let me know, okay? I'm going to start over, and I'm sorry if you were watching before and got bored. Um, I just wanted to touch base for a few minutes and let everybody know what I'm doing in the garden. With all this staying at home, I've become a little more inspired to play games with some of that. And I love gardening anyway, so because I love to see things grow. Hi, Sally. Good to see you. Anyway, I've been doing a bunch of fun things. I'll just start over. Here's one thing. I've bought a couple more plants. This is a pepper. It says it's a sweet snacking pepper orange lunchbox. So I think this is going to be those petite peppers. I hope so. It's got to go in the soil soon in a bigger pot because this little pot dries out in half a day in this heat, and I don't think it's going to last much longer. And then I have a cucumber plants, which I also purchased at the store. The seed leaves are already dried up and gone, and some of the other leaves are looking a little weak, probably due to the heat. This one is different. It's planted in a peat pot. You can see the peat pot here, and it's kind of half wet and half not because they dry out pretty fast too. But the beauty of the peat pot is that I can stick it straight into the dirt in the bigger pot and just bury it, and it will be absolutely fantastic that way. I don't have to worry about transplant shock because I really want cucumbers. I love cucumbers. My husband and I both really like them, and so do my dogs. Um, anyway, I hope that I'm going to be able to do that. Don't know. But I did have a real bump. This really was a failure. I planted the pea seeds and I had them all in little individual pots and they grew beautifully. I had vines about this long. So I figured they were ready to transplant and I put them into a much larger pot, but spaced out in there with a trellis, the whole bit. Nope, they're dead. They all died one at a time and now they're gone. But this is fresh, good soil and everything in this pot. It was a new pot, so I know they didn't get anything from it. So I planted more pea seeds in there the other day. 2 or 3 are up now, just coming through the surface of the soil. We'll see, huh? I've never had much luck with peas. I've managed with green beans, string beans, but not peas. So we'll see. My daughter, yeah, my daughter has a bunch. She's getting them, and they're just growing. She threw them out, in the little area where she plants things. So she's got either a watermelon or a pumpkin or something that's this big already. And this is my younger daughter. She's the one with the green thumb, okay? All right, I won't say more than that for fear of insulting my other daughter. And so another thing I've just done, and this I had read about, but I figured I'd try anyway, is I've planted some of the cuttings from my basil plant, and they're just growing in this little thing, and you really can't see, but they're getting little tiny roots. So I'm hopeful that these will manage to get roots before they die, because they don't look so good. You can see the brown leaves there in a couple of spots. We'll see. Anyway, it's an experiment. I don't want to clip the leaves off and use them to cook because maybe they need some leaves. I do have, sorry, I do have one other one, and it's, I just potted it. I have to water it some more, but all the leaves fell off except for these couple here on the top. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see, maybe? Yeah, there. So this probably isn't going to make it, but we'll find out, right? So it's a little bit of a loss if they don't, but I won't be crushed because I still have the plant and I can try again, and I have seeds too, so I have better luck with seeds sometimes, depends what. Okay, so then this has been a fun experiment, and if you have kids, this is a fun thing to do with kids, I think. Thanks, Jeff. I'm finally right side up. Yeah, Facebook told me that I could turn the phone before I got on, and then it would be okay to have it horizontal, but apparently not. So, right side up now. So anyway, this is something else that I've been doing, and I was talking about this before when I was oriented incorrectly. But I've been taking, I cook with a lot of onions, and so I'm having fun with this because they're really fun. I take the bottom of the onion where the root end is, and you can see I just planted this one yesterday, and you can see it's already sending out new roots. And so you put them in the water in just a little container. These are old containers from little peach, chopped up peaches or other fruit that my husband gets from the store. And put the water not quite up to the top of the plant, because if you put it all the way up, it's going to rot. It drowns it. So there's that one, and then you can see they kind of make progress. First you get roots like this, lots of roots, and then it will try to come out of this little center round part, if it makes it. This one, I don't know. It's been there a while. It may not make it. But anyway, here's some that are making it, that look good. This is another one that may or may not. It's got one spot you can see on the top part of this, if you can see this. And it's got a little bit of green, and then there are some roots, but not so many on this one. This is a different kind of onion, so I don't know. We'll find out, right? But anyway, here are some that look great. This is my first one, and you can see it's getting a little dried out on the end, so I think it's time to get it into a pot. You have to change the water every day, but you can see it made a lot, and eventually the whole bottom of the onion sort of like gets absorbed. I imagine it uses it for food. That was number one. This is number two, and it's really kind of weird looking. It's sort of like alien or something. You can see the big lump here. I love this. This is so fun. And then there's lots of roots underneath. I'm going to put these, I have a big pot over here where I planted the bottoms of some green onions, and now I have enormous onion plants. So I have some spare space in there. I'll either put them there or in another pot, depending on what I can locate in the garage for pots. And then this one is doing really well. This is a different kind of onion again, because I have 3 different kinds at home. But this one has tons of roots, and it's looking good. So I understand, at least one source I read said, oh, these will make whole new onions. Well, I have my doubts. And my friend and someone else I heard online as well said the same thing, that no, you'll get green onions. So that's fine. I like green onions. I use them a lot too. So there we go. So that's project 1 and 2, I suppose. I will show you this if I can get it over here. One of my daughters gave me this lovely thing for Mother's Day, and it's not, this was a flower spike, so that's okay, but it's a succulent garden, and I think it's doing well. These are fun. I want to hang it up, but I can't persuade my husband to put a hook into the wood. This is a long-standing issue with my husband. You know, we've been together more than 50 years, and the last 30, or 40, 35, I haven't been able to get him to screw a hook into the house anywhere. Sometimes it's just not worth the time. Anyway, so another thing I'm going to be doing is growing some microgreens. Unless you want to be on video, I'll stay in the house. That's my husband. It doesn't matter. They all know me. But anyway, so that was my husband trying to come outside to see what I was up to. So I bought these, which they call Wild Green Fingers quality seed trays, and I'll show you in a minute where I got them from. These are still packaged up, but I'll hold them up so you can see. There's several of them here. I think there are like 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 of them in fact, so this will last a while. And then there are some nice things to write on to show what you're planting. And what I'm going to do is put potting soil in these, and I probably will only use 1 or 2 right now. And I'm going to plant in there. Where did I put it? Where did it go? Oh, here. Here you go. So microgreens, and these are just beet greens, which are actually pretty tasty. But I'm also going to plant some of these. These are for sprouts, but I think I can plant these and get a little bit more than sprouts if I let them grow. But I'm also going to order some seeds that are specifically microgreens. And I usually, when I order online, if I don't buy them locally, and I can't always find this stuff locally, I order from this company here, Park Seed. They are great. They've been around a long time. I was ordering from them when I was in high school, so that's kind of scary how long ago that was. But they have every variety. You can get And I don't get any kickback from Park Seed, by the way. It's just that I like them. They're good, and their service is good, and their product is very good, and absolutely nothing is GMO. They sell only non-GMO products. So they sell flower seeds and basically everything, all kinds of lovely peppers. Here's a whole variety of cucumbers, and they also have the things you need to grow, things like that. So lots of fun. I love it. I just absolutely love it. So now I'll try to take you on a 2-minute tour here if it works. I don't know if that's going to work. I'm not good with this thing. Let's see. We'll walk. So if you've read the articles on Oaks and Magnolias, you've seen these, but now I bought a watering can. But there's my aloe. Can you see that? I don't know. I should be turning the camera. Can I turn the camera while I'm on live? No, doesn't look like. Okay, so there. Plant, that's an aloe. And then of course my Christmas cactus, I have 3. These are trying to grow down here, and then this one is doing fine. Okay, so this is a lovely little mini greenhouse, which I'm trying to figure out what to put in there. It's not as easy as it might look. Anyway, I don't know if you could see that or not, because I couldn't see when I turned it. So then I have these lovely trees for the yard, courtesy of my younger daughter. My younger daughter Stacy got these from one of the markets. They were giving them away. I don't know if you can see them, but you should be able to. So I have an oak tree and a bottle brush, and I'm anxious to put these in the backyard because, as you can see, except for a lot of gum trees, sweet gum, which is not a really sturdy tree, my yard is pretty much empty of trees. Now, we have trees behind the yard and in the neighbors' yards, and that's great. But that's all we have. So, anyway, really quickly, taking a walk here, and I'm walking barefoot in my yard, which is probably not the smartest thing to do, but anyway. So you can see, here come 2 of the little pea plants. I don't know if you can see those. Hopefully you can. There they are. And the rest are not up yet. There's one tiny one here, but you can't see it. And then I have other things growing here. This is my basil, which is going to seed. It's going to flower and go to seed, so I have to clip it back. Rosemary and the flowers and mint. And then here's the onions I was talking about. These all came from green onions, which is green onion bottoms, which is pretty entertaining. And then look, I have a couple of tomatoes here, but you see how bad this plant looks. The leaves have something going on here. Can you see that? Hopefully you can see that. Let's see. I don't know if you can see it or not. I'm going to get on the other side of the camera. Yeah, probably. So they don't look so good. But we'll see. And so anyway, what I have found here, which seems to be a bit of a problem, is that I can get things going, but then it's hard to keep them going well because they overgrow because it's so very warm here. And also in June, as it has been for the most part here, it's been very dry. Now that's unless we get a hurricane or something, but otherwise it's just really, I don't know, too dry. And so I have to water and water and water, which is a bit of a chore. So anyway, that's the story, and I'm sorry, Jeff, if I made you dizzy. I know, I've not developed my skills for that yet. I'm working on it. But anyway, I did turn it a bit much. Sorry. So anyway, I will see you all again soon. I have more things that I'm getting together to plant. And once I get these sprouts and microgreens going, I'll be sure to come back and show everybody how they look. So thank you, and see you all again soon here, and hopefully on the blog at Oaks and Magnolias. Bye now.